BBC Whoniverse.
You're watching the TGM production.
Tom Mason. Ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. Hello and welcome to WhoBox, a spin-off that isn't really a spin-off. I run a podcast called Chatterbox. I run a web series called WhoBox. Sometimes the episodes are fully visual. Sometimes the episodes are fully audio. This is a show where I can talk however I long, however I want to, all about my favourite franchise. Ba-ba-ba-bum! Doctor Who. Yes, I'm calling it a franchise because it's got video, it's got audio. What else has it got? Visual medium, audio medium, visual, which is TV, web medium, which is the web stuff they do on the YouTube channel. It's got comic books, graphic novels. Doctor Who is a multifaceted, multi-genre based thing, or as the professional call it, transmedia, because it's telling the story in a transmedia format. So the TV Who, and Big Finish Who are very similar, because Big Finish Who, so let's say for example you have the 8th Doctor, right? The 8th Doctor in TV Who, his character arc continues to Big Finish Who, right? And when you bring him back on TV, his version of Who then sort of merges together in a sense of the character development he made in Big Finish gets brought into the world of television. If that makes at all any sense, because you've got to think about it. Things have to make sense to get anywhere in life, right? So if you're saying, oh, no, that didn't make any sense. Well, that didn't make any sense to you, but it might make sense to someone else, because that's the world of diddly Doctor Who. Now, I'm a massive fan of Doctor Who, as you can tell by 1, the YouTube channel, 2, by the by my Doctor Who based podcast, and by my Doctor Who, well, I've got comedy characters that work in the world of Doctor Who. I don't want to get too much because that's stepping into comedy breakdown territory, my comedy podcast where I break down my comedy journey. But we've got Raven Coolbread, who worked with the Doctor. Albert Flowerpot is the narrator for my Doctor Who fan series, Doctor Who Earthbound. So, at present, we've got quite a few. Oh, Bingo Bobson is on Doctor Who based podcast. So we've got a lot of Doctor Who meets comedy things, and then obviously Doctor Who Earthbound itself is a drama. Even though I'm with almost a comedy character, the whole thing is still a dramatic work of fiction. So you want to take into account that it's still serious. Now, I also do things in the world of live streaming on Twitch, and I'm considering doing some Doctor Who based live events on Twitch. That might be a Doctor Who quiz, it might be whatever, who knows, but I'm possibly doing that. The other thing I want to talk about briefly is I did a Doctor Who final show that hopefully might come back in some format, maybe online, maybe on telly. If any commissioners out there want to commission Time Lords, please do get in touch. any production companies or commissioners, because if you don't know, you can watch. You can watch the pilot and the first 2 episodes of the first series on YouTube right now. Other things happened that meant that it couldn't go ahead any further, due to some logistics, is the word I'm going to use, because that is the most professional term I can use. Otherwise, unavailability of people is the other word I could use. So we've got material ready for the next episode. We've got the rounds. We've got ways of improving it. And if we were to do it for telly, then physical sets as ideas we could do. Because I think it would really work as a BBC 2 type show, or BBC 1, it depends on, or BBC 3, or BBC 4. But what I'm saying is that, for me, there's a lot of Doctor Who-based comedy projects that I've worked on. So, overall, Tom Mason, the channel you're watching this on, is developing, changing, and sort of becoming its own thing as time goes on. Favourite word? Why is it my favourite word? I have no idea. Now, when it comes to developing this YouTube channel, you look at other Doctor Who-based YouTubers, so Crispy Pro, Josh Schneid, they're 2 Australian examples. George Sheard, Ace Crispy Pro, if you're new to that, Mr. TARDIS. So you've got 4 there. So let's break them down. Mr. TARDIS does some live stream stuff, but mainly reviews, breakdowns, and analysis of things in long form. Fair enough, well done. I like it. I've done a bit of that in my past. George Sheard, very similar to Mr. TARDIS, less detail, as in less less use of material from the show, and a lot more bits and bobs. And now he's doing like pub crawl type stuff, so slightly different. You've got Crispy Pro that doesn't have a single identity, but sometimes does those things where you rank him. He's now watching all of her. He's got his version of what he thinks YouTube Who should be is developing as he's been going on. That it's Josh Schneid. Do apologise if I said his name wrong. He is developing at a rapid rate, because each time he does a Doctor Who based film video thing on YouTube, it's different than the last. Sometimes it's animation where he's animated a Big Finish audio. Sometimes it's a documentary about Missing Who. Sometimes it's him talking about the fact that he tried to get a TV that would have been used at the time of Classic Who to try and get Classic Who working on it. So there's a lot of sort of changes in the Whoniverse for the fan Whoniverse, and I think that that's what I'm trying to do. So I've got radio stuff, audio stuff, I've got visual stuff, I've got web series, so I do comedy characters, I do discussions, I do podcasts, I do documentaries, I do all this on this one channel, because I'm trying to sort of develop what I believe makes an interesting, unique venture to talk about Doctor Who. Because if you stood there day after day after day after day after day after day after day talking about Doctor Who, you get slightly more repetitive on yourself, and you talk about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be repetitive of yourself, so you've got to find new angles in the world of Doctor Who to talk about. So I made a video today, today, the 19th of July 2026. I'm recording this a day early. Check out Tom's Comedy Club for more reasons why. I mentioned that I was going to make a sequel to that video about Santarans, about the Paternoster gang. I'm currently re-listening to the first box set of the Paternoster gang, so I want to listen to more of that, and then on Tuesday, hopefully, I will be making a film about the Paternoster gang and about why Strax is such a a good sort of companion and why he's such a positive part of the Sontaran race, because not every part of the Sontaran race is going to be popular, right? Because it's a villain at the end of the day. But you've sort of got to find the positive in every version of an evil race. So there will be a positive Dalek, like my sitcom Question in Dalek, about a Dalek who decides he no longer wants to be evil. A Dalek who chooses the good side of history because he wants to live, he wants to survive, he wants to be one of the good guys. That's how like I was almost rapping there. So you've got to find the not all villains. So the Missy became good for a while and then became evil again. Some people can, but no matter how long, can be good. So, on that note, as we reach the 11-minute mark, WhoBox is not a podcast, but sometimes visual, sometimes audio only series where I just ramble. Sometimes I'm sat down going, right, what am I going to do? And then I come up with this idea, and then I think, well, I want to talk for longer. A camera in the UK can't go for an hour, so I can't make it an hour. Sometimes the camera dies, and then it becomes audio only, and I'd rather have one or the other. So this is why I'm announcing right now that WhoBox will have sometimes visual and sometimes audio only episodes, not hybrids. WhoBox will never go live because it's not a podcast, but hopefully we'll be back for more. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.